is NDTV and you are watching NDTV Prime.
Welcome ladies and gentlemen to a brand new episode of CNB Bazaar Buzz here on the NDTV network. Now as usual, we've got a whole bunch of launches, some very important cars. So here's what we have on the show for you today. We've got the brand new Jeep Compass with all its variant details and pricing. The 2017 Rainforest Challenge in Goa. NEXA's new service centers. And monsoon tips for all you two-wheeler riders out there. So let's start with the big blockbuster launch this week, the brand new and long-awaited Jeep Compass. Now we've got all the details that you need to know if you're going to go and buy one, including all the pricing for all the variants and of course what you get as standard for each of these variants. So here's a look. A few months ago, we brought you an exclusive review of the Jeep Compass that we drove in the United States.
So it is Jeep's make or break model for India.
And then just a few weeks ago, we drove it right here in India and came off mighty impressed too. This thing is a hoot to drive. So to recap, the Compass in India gets a 1.4-litre petrol engine that makes 160 horsepower and comes with either a 6-speed manual or a 7-speed automatic, or you can choose the popular 2-litre multi-jet diesel made into a 6-speed manual that makes 170 horsepower and comes with optional 4-wheel drive. But let's not waste your time and tell you what you all have been waiting for. The price. Let's begin with the petrol. The Jeep Compass petrol range starts at a whopping 14,95,000 rupees for the base model Sport and is the only petrol version that comes with a manual gearbox. The more expensive limited and limited option are priced at 18,70,000 and 19,40,000 rupees. And now to the more popular diesels. The Jeep Compass diesel range is a tad more expensive than the petrol counterpart, with the base model Sport priced at 15,45,000 rupees. The diesel also gets a mid-variant badged Longitude that is priced at 16,45,000 rupees and a Longitude option pack that is priced slightly higher at 17,35,000 rupees. Top Spec Limited is available with front-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. The front-wheel drive limited and option are priced at 18,05,000 rupees and 18,75,000 rupees, while the four-wheel drive version of the limited and the option variants are priced at 19,95,000 rupees and 20,65,000 rupees respectively. So what do you get with every variant? To begin with, the Sport comes with halogen lamps, smaller 16-inch wheels, a smaller 5-inch touchscreen and all black interiors. The mid-variant Longitude that is only available with the diesel engine gets larger 17-inch wheels and a rear fog lamp on the exterior, along with dual-tone interiors and a push-button start on the inside. And finally, the more expensive Limited comes with added features like the larger touchscreen and LED tail lamps, while the option pack gets the iconic black floating roof and bis-xenon headlamps. In terms of safety though, the Jeep Compass gets 2 airbags and ABS across all variants, with the 4-wheel drive top spec version getting 6 airbags. You also get traction control and EBD as standard on all variants. All in all, the Jeep Compass is very well priced for the SUV crazy Indian market and will take on a wide variety of vehicles from the likes of the Tata Nexa, Mahindra XUV 500 and the Hyundai Creta, to the likes of the similarly priced sedans like the Toyota Corolla, Hyundai Elantra and even the Skoda Octavia. So there you have it, all the details that you really need to make an informed decision. Now at that price point, the Jeep Compass and the Jeep brand is also a lot more accessible for a lot of Indian customers who were slightly disappointed with the prices of the SUVs of their other models last year. Well, from one SUV to a bunch of other SUVs, and these ones are a little bit more extreme. We are talking about the 2017 Rainforest Challenge that was in Goa for yet another running. Kinshuk Datta has a closer look.
This is the 4th edition of the Rainforest Challenge in India. And as promised last year, it was bigger and better than any other edition we have seen so far. The biggest difference in this year's RFC event was that the prologue special stages were held in the jungles of Kadamba and Kwepem first, and then the stages were held in urban areas. The first few stages are usually kept easy in order to make the participants find their feet and boost confidence. But this year, the organizers decided to throw a curveball. The first 5 stages were some of the toughest that we had ever seen in the 4 years of RFC in India. The stages had a mix of steep inclines, winching exercise and a bit of rock crawling as well. After the day was over, there was a nice stage for the participants as well. After the first 5 stages, the rest of them were relatively easier. One could see water wading and mud crawling along with a couple of speed stages as well. The participants got their confidence back with the stages of the 2nd and 3rd days. Most participants tried their best to claw back lost points from the stages of the first day.
The atmosphere is festive and the weather is beautiful. We are here deep in the jungles of Goa for the 2017 edition of the Rainforest Challenge. As you can see, the action for the first 2 days has been nail-biting to say the least.
At the halfway point of the 2017 Rainforest Challenge, it was the pair of Gurmeet Virdi and Kirpal Singh Tung who were at the top of the leaderboard with 1072 points. The second place was occupied by Siddharth and Prithviraj with 1066 points. In the third position were Jagat Nanjappa and Chetan Changappa with 1021 points. Unfortunately, we were unable to stay back for the entire duration of the event. But were told that Gurmeet and Kirpal were the overall champions with Jagat and Chetan coming second. The third position was taken by Sanbir Singh Dhaliwal and Gurpratap Singh Sandhu. The winners of the 2017 Rainforest Challenge will get an opportunity to compete in the main Rainforest Challenge, which will be held in Malaysia towards the end of the year.
Let's take those questions now. The first question I have is from Vineet, and it's a very relevant one. When can we expect the Tata Nexon, and will it launch with an automatic gearbox? Now the Nexon, we've driven it already and it seems like a capable product once again from Tata Motors. So great to see that track record being maintained after the Tiago and the Tigor. When can we expect it? Well, bookings have unofficially already started, and the official bookings should start in August as well, which means that we're looking at a launch by about maybe in another 3 or 4 weeks time. It is going to happen just in time for the start of the festive season sales. A. Kapoor has asked on Facebook, is Honda BRV the right choice for a 7-seater? or is it going to have the same fate as the Mobilio? Any other suggestions? Well, there are a few other suggestions, and you could be considering maybe the XUV 500, which now has become a more comprehensive package. But coming back to the BRV, I don't think it will necessarily have the same fate as the Mobilio. It's not necessarily also a big hit for Honda, but it's selling decent numbers. It's certainly selling much better than the Mobilio was, and Honda is pretty categorical that while it has kind of phased out the Mobilio, the BRV is here to stay. Also, don't forget that all said and done, the car will give you Honda reliability as well. So is it a bad buy? I think that's really what you're asking. No, it's not. Go ahead, if that's the car you like and you like its features and its space, it certainly isn't a bad ride. Jigar is asking about a bike for a daily commute. He's confused between the Platina, the CD110 Dream and the Dream Neo. Now the CD110 Dream, I'm assuming what you mean is the entry bike from Hero's portfolio, which is now the HF Deluxe. So I'm going to answer in that context. The Platina hasn't really performed that well in the market. There's nothing wrong with that bike. It sort of ticks most of the boxes, but it really comes down to the choice between the Hero and the Honda here, because essentially they're sort of very similar. It comes from the same sort of route as well, and you couldn't go wrong with either one of them. Both have good, excellent service support as well now. Both are good on mileage. The Dream Neo though has been a little more popular and sort of sneaks ahead just a little bit in this particular comparison. Next question is from Sunil, who's saying, is it true that scooters like Activa and Access are not as durable as compared to bikes? I'm planning to buy one. Is Vespa a good option considering durability and mileage? Now Vespa, the only thing that goes against that particular brand is pricing. They're not as well priced as some of the other scooters you've mentioned, but otherwise yes, they are pretty good on durability and mileage. And when it comes to durability overall with comparison to motorcycles, now the jury is divided on that. In my view though, I think the scooters do just as well. There's nothing really that sets them back. They don't really have any sort of extra damage or any extra care required when compared to motorcycles. Yes, a bike will probably do just a little bit better on rough roads, but that's more to do with rideability. Let me take in one more question. This is Vipin, who has an interesting question actually. What's a better scooty between the Maestro Edge and the Jupiter? I want the Jupiter, but the kids and wife are asking for the Maestro Edge, he says. Well, I don't want to get into the middle of that battle, I'll tell you that, Vipin, but the answer is going to make you happy. I actually think the Jupiter is the nicer buy of the two. It's a little more practical. It's also a sturdy scooter. The Maestro Edge does meet a lot of the similar requirements that the Jupiter doesn't, so they are very comparable. But the Jupiter is just a little more convenient to use, including, its fuel filling cap and some of the underseat storage that it gives you. So yes, my vote goes with the Jupiter. I think it's a little more fun to ride as well.
Now it's time to take a short commercial break, but at the other side we have more, so don't go anywhere.